Well, good evening, South Mississippi. Happy Friday evening. It's been a really nice day out there. We did have a couple of those stray showers and storms, especially as we moved through the afternoon hours, particularly in our inland areas north of I-10. And that's going to be the same story as we go into tomorrow. We're definitely going to see the chance for a few stray showers, maybe an isolated storm or two going into tomorrow night. Then we're really going to increase that chance of seeing some of those stronger storms. That's mainly going to be Saturday night into Sunday morning. Then things are going to clear out by the time we get to about 7 or 8 o'clock Sunday morning. So overall, not too bad of a forecast as we head into the weekend. I'm going to break that down here on Futurecast shortly. But out there right now, this is the IP Casino Resort Spa camera over in Biloxi. We have a lot of very dense fog out there. If you were with us for some of our shows earlier, we did slowly start to see that fog kind of develop. It's mainly out over the sound, and well, as that south wind does develop overnight, we're going to start to see that pushed a little bit further inland. The winds are still pretty strong out there, so we are going to see the potential for it to be very patchy. The fog doesn't really stick around too long with the higher wind. But since it is very thick over the sound, we might be able to see that kind of develop as we go overnight. Patches of that very dense fog will continue to push a little bit further inland. But as far as our wind speed right now, at the Gulfport Airport, southeast winds at about 16 miles per hour. You can see the temperature at the Gulfport Airport right now, 70 degrees. Very muggy as we go into the overnight hours. And for the most part, humidity is going to be very, very high. That's mostly thanks to that fog developing across the area. Visibility all the way down to 1 mile at the Gulfport Airport as well. So definitely seeing that very dense fog push pretty far inland at the moment. But for tonight's forecast, we're going to keep the chance for dense fog, especially along the coast over the next several hours, especially going into the very early morning hours. That's when we're going to see some of the densest fog out there. Going into the morning hours, we're going to clear out pretty quickly. Once the sun comes out, we do start to see that fog kind of start to linger and start to break up, eroding down, if you will. Going into the morning hours, we'll still be in those upper 60s as well. Winds will start to develop once again as we go into tomorrow. Southeast winds expected to be around 10 to 20 miles per hour throughout the day, so a little bit breezy out there if you do have any outdoor plans. Radar all clear across South Mississippi at the moment. The whole region has seen a lot of those little showers and storms throughout the day today, but for the most part, you can see that we are all clear in our area and our surrounding areas as well. Let's talk about the weekend, though, specifically Saturday night into Sunday morning. That's our best chance of seeing rain, our best chance of seeing storms as well. You can see here, this is the Storm Prediction Center's severe weather outlook for Saturday night into Sunday morning. We are under a marginal level 1 out of 5 risk for all of South Mississippi. The more organized and and the stronger activity expected to remain to our north and west. You can see that in the yellow. That's that slight risk, that level 2 out of 5. But at least here for South Mississippi, as we go into the overnight hours on Saturday, tomorrow, we'll start to see the chance for a few storms to still get strong. We're looking at the highest chance of seeing severe weather would be from the severe winds. That's that damaging winds gusts around 50 to 60 miles per hour. Flooding and tornadoes are definitely a much lower threat. Not seeing any widespread heavy rain with this, but a few isolated storms could certainly put down some pretty heavy rainfall depending on where the front ends up stalling, and I'll show you that here on Futurecast here in just a little bit. There is an isolated tornado risk. However, with this system, it does look very low. And hail, the same thing there. Not a great environment for hail production, but if a storm does get strong enough and finds the right environment, then we may want to watch for that as well. Here's Futurecast as we go through the overnight hours into very early tomorrow. The fog is going to be probably the biggest problem as we go through the early hours of tomorrow. Many spots starting to see those hit or miss showers start to pick up during the afternoon. And once we get to about 2, 3 o'clock in the afternoon, over to our west, you can see this version of Futurecast really does start to develop a lot of those scattered showers and storms as well, with many of those actually on Futurecast here in the Baton Rouge and New Orleans area, developing into those patches of storms. But then we go into the overnight hours, and then that's when that cold front does start to approach. Now that could become the source to kind of boost some of these storms. All of those little patches of showers and storms, they need that lift, that upward motion, and the front can certainly do that as it starts to push into South Mississippi. That would be a situation where maybe we have some storms already out there. This front starts to move on in and it helps strengthen them. We could see maybe a few isolated stronger storms as we go into Saturday evening. Going into the overnight hours, this is now very early Sunday morning, close to around midnight or shortly after midnight. That front is going to stall out, become a stationary front, and as it does so, it could become the focal point for another round of those stronger storms. You can see this version of Futurecast trying to pinpoint about where that could happen, very close to the Mississippi coast. If it does happen offshore, well, then that would be really good for us as we don't see much activity. That's just completely dependent on how far south this front actually makes it before it ends up completely stalling. And over on to the left-hand side of the screen there, you can start to see that another round will start developing behind that. That's because a low-pressure system is expected to develop using this frontal boundary. That's going to push its way into South Mississippi come Sunday morning. This is about 8 o'clock in the morning. That second round pushes on in along the low pressure system, and then at that point we could see another round of showers and storms. This one once again with the potential for gusty winds within some of these storms. This is the round that the severe weather threat will be at its highest for South Mississippi. You can see not a complete washout for our area, but the potential is there for at least a few of these storms to become strong enough. And once again, this is dependent on exactly where this frontal boundary ends up stopping. So just a couple different things in play here leading up to this. So we're going to be watching this closely throughout the day, watching the environment kind of change throughout the day tomorrow. A couple different factors like how much sunlight we get, how warm do we get, how humid do we get before that front comes on through. That's going to be all playing factors into how this situation does evolve. So just a couple different things we're going to have to watch very closely as we go into tomorrow. Overall, just be aware that for the chance for severe storms, mainly in the overnight hours and early Sunday morning, just around and right before sunrise. Also, overall outdoor plans are pretty good to go both Saturday and Sunday. Like I said, most of this rain is coming in and most of the storm activity is coming in overnight. However, of course, we can't rule out the potential for at least a few scattered showers and storms during Saturday afternoon. We saw that on Futurecast earlier with those very spotty hit or miss showers, very similar to what we saw out there today. You can see here, by the time we get to about 9 or 10 o'clock in the morning on Sunday, things really start to clear on out. That low is going to move off to our east, taking a lot of the activity with it. So that is at least some good news here. Now, we are under drought conditions still. Of course, you saw back yesterday morning, the drought monitor did update and it did show that we do have a moderate drought developing across a lot of South Mississippi. So this will at least give us some very beneficial rainfall for a lot of the area. We're not expecting very high rainfall totals. It's not a widespread washout, but for the most part, many of us could get around an inch of rain. And once again, depending on where that frontal boundary ends up stalling, it is possible if it does stall directly over us here in South Mississippi, some of these totals may be even higher. Some of us could get above an inch. Or on the flip side, maybe the front stays a little bit further north or drags a little bit further south, and then we end up with a bit of a drier air mass, and then we could get slightly lower rainfall amounts, maybe around half an inch or so. So there's definitely still some wiggle room. We do need to continue to fine-tune this forecast. I'll definitely be working on that tomorrow. But let's talk about that 7-day forecast. A couple different things to watch as well. Don't forget, time change is this weekend. That is early Sunday morning. So we will be moving forward an hour. Don't forget to turn those clocks an hour forward. Now, as we go into Sunday morning, once again, that's that highest chance of seeing those showers and storms across the area, some of which may be on the strong or severe side. So make sure you have multiple ways to get warnings in case one is issued. You can use the WLOX First Alert Weather app for that. Make sure notifications and your location are turned on. And as we head into the week, much drier as we move into Monday and Tuesday. Rain chances are lower. Some more of those small hit or miss showers just like we saw out there today. Going into Wednesday and Thursday, another system might make its way through. A little bit of a stronger cold front. We will have the chance for showers and storms again then. And behind that, maybe a little bit of a cool down. You can see those afternoon temperatures drop down into the mid to lower 70s as we get into Thursday and Friday behind that next system. But for now, here's that final look at the 7-day forecast. Muggy mornings are really going to be a thing for the next several days as well. Those morning temperatures in the white boxes in the mid to upper 60s for almost the entire 7-day forecast.